40 days of meditation program, if practiced regularly, is installing and rewiring our brain circuits significantly to make meditation a habit in our life.
If you want to create your life for yourself and the family now and create your world for your children, grandchildren, where they can have a peaceful world, you have to start meditation every day.
I found there is something deeper as we practice meditation. So I stuck to the practice, and one key thing that happened was that I wanted to know more.
First, in meditation, we are attending to what's happening right now. The second thing that happens in meditation, when you are attending to your breathing, it leads us to the second state, what is called as awareness.
The wisdom that you learn from attending 40-day sessions is invaluable, and it motivates us. Giving this strength to live our life is incredible.
Meditation has changed my life. I personally do it every day, and it is now something that feels more like a flow in life.
And because of that meditation, my life, my outlook in life, everything has changed.
So I had a severe eczema suffering for it's been like 2 years. Doctor told I need to live with this the entire life. But after this meditation, I think it took like after 3 months, it started healing everything.
My sleep got optimized, my breathing, my digestive disorders, those completely vanished, and my immunity improved significantly.
I love the meditation because it doesn't prescribe you a whole lot of things. So you can anytime, anywhere, you can sit down and bring your attention to your breath, and which was wonderful for me.
My sleep pattern changed, and I have a lot of focus. I'm able to do a lot of things.
Significant improvement in health. Of course, corporate life has a lot of stress, and the ability to manage that stress with meditation was very, very nice.
I found that meditation gave me answers and clarity of mind and peace. I am able to connect better with my patients through my meditation.
This journey of meditation has helped me in doing a lot of things. Definitely, first thing to come out of the depression.
Very warm welcome to everyone to day 8 of Miracle Program. We are into week 2 today. In week 1, last week, we have been learning about breath mindfulness meditation and varied benefits that we can reap from it. A powerful yet simple technique that leads us to overall well-being, and through it we can gain a profound lens to understand ourselves. Let's continue our resolve to learn further from Chandra sir. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Happy morning, dear friends and masters. Good afternoon, evening. Sometime, maybe roughly about 10, 12 years ago now, I was attending to a lecture of a quantum physicist, Dr. Amit Goswami. He was talking about the entire field, everything that exists is empty. 99.9999% empty. He was talking about the observer effect. On spiritual science, I've always understood, from Bhagavad Gita, the Indian scripture, we understand that we are not the body. There is something more. There is soul. There are 5 bodies, 5 koshas, all of that. But from a modern science perspective, that session gave me some insights. He was narrating how when we say God intelligence exists everywhere, where you see, where you find it, the answer we've always been given. Where you see, where is the intelligence of God does not exist. It exists everywhere. Wherever you see, you find it. Where you look, you'll find it is the answer that I was given when I was young. It's everything, everywhere. It was just an statement. When his program in that session, he was talking somewhere in the United States. He was talking about the experimentation on electrons. That when you release an electron into a room, the electron, according to quantum physics, contrary to what we all might have understanding that it is a particle, by default, it is not a particle. It is an energy. It's a field of energy. It's a field of energy, like a wave. When I release an electron, because it's an energy as a wave, it's not visible to the naked eye. It's energy, so it's not particle, but we think it's particle. It's called, he called it a wavicle. It's a wave and a particle, both simultaneously. So the electron is released into a room. Now, being invisible because it's a wave, like radio wave, TV wave, electromagnetic waves, being invisible, it's not visible to the naked eye, but it is there. It's released, now it is there somewhere in the room, but it's not visible. Because default, the tiniest subatomic particles, which we call particle, are waves by default. And so when it's released, it is there somewhere, but you know where it is. But when an observer is put looking for an electron and say, maybe it is here, then it showed up there. Maybe it is here, then it showed up here. Observer, according to quantum physics, through this observer effect, an observer is collapsing the wave function of the electron into particle in a way that is condensed energy that is showing up there to see. So default, all electrons or neutrons are energy, not particles. And then when they are observers, then they are showing up, collapsing themselves into the physicality and then a way that we can see. First thing, which means that it exists everywhere. The electron can exist anywhere because it's a wave. It could be anywhere spreading. But it shows up somewhere where you look for as an observer, then you're putting attention on it, and then it becomes matter. that seemed like gave me some answer. Okay, so this is what it meant. Everywhere it exists, everything out there. Then he talked about everything out there is emptiness, kind of quantum physics. Later in the books like You Are the Placebo by Dr. Joe, and then when I studied Fred Alan Wolf, one of the beautiful things about Patrici is that he introduced master after master after master after master. He always encouraged studying from everyone. Take the best. Take the best, aligning to 3 core principles, not take everything. If somebody had a lot of blind belief rituals, he said, cut it off. If somebody has talking about non-vegetarian, he said, cut it off. Things that don't feel right to you, we take it out. But there are a lot of things that there are great masters, so many of them have talked about. And so he introduced all this, you would read books and then he'd introduce. So then Fred Alan Wolf, in fact, we invited him to Pyramid Valley International. He was there. Beautiful. He's got his own version, but expresses pretty well about, in simple terms about quantum physics, understanding of what is there out there. But the point is that now Dr. Amit Goswami was talking about everything as being emptiness. All universe or multiverse is all empty, but the emptiness is filled with vibrations, subtle vibrations called energy. And so these things that we thought are there in subatomic level, because we know the universe is made up of elements. And all the elements, if we go inside, they're all nothing but some nucleus with protons, neutrons center, and there are electrons there around. But now we know the electrons are merely energy fields by default, not particle field. By default, they're energy fields. The energy fields convert into matter through somebody's observation. So that was sufficient for me to connect to a core spiritual science, understanding that we are not the body, we are energy, we are soul. Spiritual science said soul. Something bigger than something invisible, but it is there, it's guiding. There's intelligence. And then through our thoughts create reality. So it made sense. An observer bringing that energy into matter, it makes sense. The core aspect of spiritual science and the core aspect of meditation that we come to is that we experience that field every day, that empty state of field every day. Which seem to make sense again that we've always been told from spirituality that everything is there, that's all consciousness, that's all God that is there. And that shows up, that is observed when we observe. It comes into existence when you observe. We also know if there are 10 people in a room, until the time you observe, you may not notice 8 people at all. Many times we know it. If you're focused only on one person or 2 people or one thing that we're very, very looking for, even though we go around, we now pay attention to anybody else. You know that. They are there, yet they're not there as long as because you're not observed, not even looked at them. So something comes into our attention, only we pay and observe on it. And now we go deeper, that energy becomes matter through observation. And so then it shows up as a form. So the concept that everything is emptiness and energy, and that becomes matter through observation, was intriguing. And so from Dr. Ferdinand Wolff, and then while I was reading, but some simple experiments that have been translated to videos helped to understand and then correlate that to thoughts create reality. It's a very important aspect because the entire spiritual science is trying to unlock this one principle. The entire science of meditation is trying to unlock this core principle that our thoughts, our attention brings experience into reality. And so then this whole idea and the notion and the attempt of practice is to develop our awareness in many, many ways, to see that our thoughts must be aligned towards what we want to experience, not what we don't want to experience. People who go into guilt mode, because they feel because of me, something happened to somebody. The guilt mode means that you are having thoughts in a direction that not to you want. Because of me, this is happening to somebody. And when you say that, now your thought is not what you want, because of it's happening to somebody means you will create more of it to that person. You will create more of it to that person. If you are truly, truly wishing for the betterment of a person, then you will become aware and then stop having that pattern. That because of me, I'm always doing stupid things, and then I'm always causing hurt and grief to my family. And somebody says that they are continuing to cause more of it. If they understand the science behind this. So the entire practice of any important spiritual practice is unlocking this core principle that our thoughts have something and a lot of things and everything to do with our outer experiences. Because our thoughts have an impact on them, the field has an impact on it, and there is a nice interaction between them. So let's go into meditation and understand this aspect of how everything seems to be made up of energy, yet I feel myself as this solid. If everything is emptiness energy, then I'm also emptiness energy. And then try to connect that with this spiritual science principle that we are not the body, we are the soul. We understand this process today, and then connect with the spiritual science that we are not the body, we are soul. We have unlimited potential in us, and then our thoughts invoke that potential. Three things that I understood in the beginning of my spiritual journey. And then later, when I understood this quantum field theory concept, they got married very beautifully. This is essential. Those who are wanting to have a better scientific understanding, to convince ourselves about it, about this whole practice. Because later on, we say many things, and they all are founded on this principle of thoughts thoughts create things. There are other aspects too. So we'll resume the 6 spiritual science principles concept tomorrow, day after, from where I left off on Friday. And for today, let's go into meditation and understand this quantum field theory concept that is connecting us as the whole energy, the wholeness, right? And the meditation gives a direct experience of that wholeness. Relax yourself, dear friends. We're practicing breath mindfulness meditation. Our goal is to empty the mind and be in the state of emptiness, or reduce the thoughts of the mind. We do this by observing our normal, natural breath as you see in the picture. Sitting down comfortably in a chair or on the floor, crossing your feet at ankle, fingers into fingers, hands comfortably rested, closing your eyes, observing your normal, natural breath anywhere in the nose, and slowly, slowly thoughts come down. We go into states of emptiness, states of energy, states of experience in our visions in our mind, potentially. If anything happens to you when you observe your breath and thoughts come down, happens means any feeling of sensation, movements of any of those, observe them. At any given time you have thought, bring your attention back to the breath. Now, before we do this, I wanted to introduce a technique called heart elevation process. For those of you new, you all would have, many of you attended before. Of course, we practice always this technique called heart elevation. Heart elevation process, which we start with, is a simple process to move ourselves into a heightened emotion. So it helps to sort of settle the brain down. If you have many thoughts, are worried about things, wake up and think about a lot of things are there to do, overwhelmed. And so this heart elevation process is to elevate ourselves into higher emotion, sort of settles the brain down into a nice alpha state, which is very conducive for breath mindfulness meditation, because that's the beginning of the meditation states in our brain waves. So the process, and I'll talk about the science later, this process is simple. You're sitting down, just like in breath mindfulness meditation, on the chair means yes, sit down cross-legged. Your eyes closed, specs remote, same. But then here in this process, we're going to do this for a few minutes, and then we slip into breath mindfulness meditation. And here you keep your hands on your chest area and resting your attention on your heart. In breath mindfulness meditation, rest your attention on the nose. Observe the breath there. Here, for the first few minutes, when you do this technique, you put your attention on your heart with your hands on your heart. And then feel your heartbeat rhythm. That sort of helps to connect with the heart center. It sort of brings your breath into a very balanced state. Your heart is going into coherent state, something where heart rate variability becomes uniform. Your heart is beating erratically, going up and down, it's happening, but it becomes very uniform. The deviation from the normal is uniform. It's called heart rate variability. When you observe and adjust your attention on your heart, and then observe that as you take slow, long breaths, then your heart is becoming very, very coherent. Body is going to homeostasis. Then continue there for a couple of minutes, observing your heart center, resting your attention on your heart. Then you bring up, as you generate an emotion, you go into an experience imagining, maybe smelling a flower, touching and hugging a tree, playing with a child, going to a trek in nature with friends, helping somebody out there in your family who requires that help. Any of those which makes you feel good, joyful, make you feel that you're expressing the love, or appreciating somebody for what they've done to you, appreciation. All these emotions are good emotions which are helping you to increase the coherence in our heart. So we observe, so we generate an imagine of an experience, which is bringing that emotion, right? We can imagine. When we are distracted, what do? We go into nature, walking, because that helps us to sort of not worry about things too much. Nature sort of helps. So same thing we do. You smell a flower, right? You touch a plant, a hug a tree. So it makes us feel good. So do that, imagine. And so go into that higher emotion for some time. That's step 2. And third is that then I ask that you make an intention to send that energy to everybody who is in need in this planet, people who require that help. Where your attention goes, that energy flows, is a quantum physics concept. So your energy flows. And so then when you put your intention saying, my energy, the energy of love, energy of appreciation, is spreading everywhere, and you make that intention, going to those people in Ukraine who are suffering. And so then automatically the energy goes there to them, because the energy is traversing the speed of light here. And so then it goes instantaneously. Your attention moves the energy there. And the more you spread that energy to others, the more coherent we become. That's a scientific discovery by HeartMath Institute. So do this process, dear friends, called heart elevation process for a few minutes. And then we go into breath mindfulness meditation as a continuum. Relax yourself, sit comfortably, relax your body. Dear friends, dear masters, with your specs removed, eyes closed, dear friends, with your specs removed, eyes closed, keep your hands on your chest area. And rest your attention on your sacred heart. And can you feel your beautiful heart? Feel the seat of all emotions, nurturing all life with its energies of love, compassion, gratitude. Recollect an experience from your past or from the present, or visualize and imagine an experience of higher emotion, of joy, of love, of compassion, of gratitude. Playing with that child, extending your love, helping somebody, being very compassionate, smelling that flower, walking in nature, or whatever that may be, dear friends. Imagine yourself to be in that experience and generate that emotions and feel. The more you experience that energy, that emotion, the more coherent you become, the more coherent your body and mind go into. Relive that moment and feel that emotion. And can you intend to send that energy, to spread that energy to everything and everybody on this planet? To all those in need, where your attention goes, there the energy flows. Feel. We are all deeply interconnected. We are specks of energy in this field, connected with each other. Love, compassion, appreciation are all the ways to experience that connection, to become coherent with everything and everybody. Feel. And slowly, let's go into breath mindfulness meditation. With your fingers into fingers, hands comfortably rested in your lap. Observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath, dear friends. We are going into powerful group meditation. Observe your normal natural in breath and the out breath.
It is natural to have thought. When you recognize you are in thought, go back to observing your breath. all emptiness is energy. This is the quantum field of energy, the field of limitless possibilities. The field of intelligence. merge into the emptiness of yourself, your divine self. Friends, let's express gratitude at this time. Can you express gratitude to your parents for giving us this beautiful connection to this field? Be grateful to your teachers and mentors for expanding your knowledge and wisdom. Your gratitude to your family, friends, colleagues, relatives, everybody in your life for helping you learn so many things, experience many things. Your gratitude to this grand nature, the bird, the fish and the animals, to everything, use the technology, the system, the company, the governments. When they fill your life with energy, beauty, and helping life to be very comfortable. Be grateful to yourself for caring for you, for caring for others, and to this intelligent universe for helping you experience this life at this time of history. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. Relax your body and recollect your experiences from the session. And whenever you're ready, keep your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. And then open your eyes. Okay, friends. Hope you enjoy the session. Let me put up a few charts about this important concept, more well understood through visually, and also play a short video, part of it, to know more. This understanding is very important in understanding the concept of oneness too. The concept of oneness, wholeness. There are a lot of things that are spoken. But what is this oneness, scientifically speaking? What is this God of that who can do everything? Or what is this unlimited possibility that I have unlimited potential? How is that mean? What is that? Where did it come from? And of course, thoughts create reality. Some of these understandings will come through this topic. At least it'll help to facilitate, to question more about it. So we're going to explore a few quantum physics principles and then connect this with connect this find this slide. So connect it with the spiritual science concepts. From quantum physics theories, we derive that we are less matter, more energy. Our potentiality is unlimited, infinite. And our observation brings these potentials into physicality. So quantum physics are operating at a very, very micro level in the field of, when you're interpreting matter, they're operating at the micro level, inside an atom to subatom to all of them. They go deep into it. And so when they go deep in the work there, what they're finding is that whatever that we think is real is made up of things that cannot be regarded as real. That's Niels Bohr. Because they go inside and then they don't find anything out there. They find a whole bunch of emptiness out there. When I go into an atom and go deeper inside further to see what is there, they find emptiness, all emptiness. So they say then We think we are made up of real hard substance, but it's all non-real because they don't find anything hard like that inside. Instead, they find energy there, like waves. Heisenberg is another physics. The reality we can put into words is never reality itself. That's what he's saying. Whatever we say is reality, and we say, oh, this is hard, this is soft, this is that. Everything he's saying is never reality because it's made up of something that is made up of energy. It's really that the way you perceive it is not that. A water is there, vapor. Now, by default, it says everything is like that, invisible field. It comes into reality only through some observation, goes away, but it's not really the way you think it is there. Now, for example, the electrons in our body are oscillating 6 to 7 times a second. They're always oscillating as energy and matter, energy and matter, energy and matter. We think it's continuously there as matter, but it's not. It's just energy and then becoming matter, going back in energy, becoming matter. The base and the root is energy. That's what quantum physics are saying. So there are the three principles which we took to understand. When you look at everything and then looking at a human here, human organs, you look at human organs, you have cells. There are many cells are there. Nerve cells, skin cells, liver cells, kidney cells, and all of that. You further go into a cell, then you'll find a lot of molecules in it. Water is a molecule. Any acid is a molecule. Any carbohydrate or water that is a molecule. There all are molecules. Means what? They are a group of atoms strung together based on the property, right? And water is H2O. So we learn this a little bit of physics. So molecules. Now go further inside molecules, you see atoms. So the lowest level that we generally studied in physics, particularly in India, is that we are studying up to atoms and saying, okay, then everything is made up of atoms. Elements, that's what they call elements. So an atom is containing, if you go inside, subatomic particles. If the atom is broken further, the atom has subatomic particles called electrons, and then proton, which contains neutron. The nucleus contains proton and neutron. So electrons and protons, neutrons are there as subatomic particles in a given atom. So this is known. So if you just decompose a human body, then you're getting down to ultimately a whole bunch of subatomic particles. How many cells are there in the human body? Billions and billions of cells are there. If billions and billions of cells are there in the human body, then you will have trillions of molecules, and so then you have trillions of atoms. And so then you have trillions and trillions of subatomic particles like electrons and protons and neutrons, ultimately. So first thing just to understand is that we are made up of all these subatomic particles, trillions and trillions, countless of them. It's really that many. Then what they notice that atom that we think is contain electrons and neutrons, which is told to us as is like a particle, contains weight. So because electrons and neutrons contain mass, they have weight. And so they're made up of an atom. So an atom is also like that. But what they found is that quantum physicists, to the great surprise, an atom when it's measured is 99.9999999999% empty. an atom, is nearly all of it is empty. All of it is filled with that emptiness, they notice, is vibration. It's energy. Vibration is energy. So what they thought an atom made up of is like a particle. They would take iron, like hard stuff, right? And I go into iron element, and you'll find that there is 99.99% empty. That's what quantum physics is finding. It's all empty. Then we thought only the electrons and protons are the only thing that are not empty, that's matter, because that's all they found. So first thing in the universe, they're finding is that atom is empty, all of it is empty. So if atom is empty, and then by previous chart, if a body is made up of several molecules, made up of cells, made up of organs, and if atom is empty, molecule is empty, cell is empty, an organ is empty, body is empty. So default is made up of this emptiness and energy. It's all there as emptiness and energy. But then we find ourselves as matter. But the quantum physics is saying it's all emptiness, the emptiness vibration. So that's why this is not real, because nearly all of it is emptiness, but yet we have this experience of matter, physical, particle nature. And so then it's made up of stuff that's not real stuff. The real means that we want to, sensory perception will become active there. You can touch and I feel it, but can you touch and feel a space? Vapor, can you touch and feel? You can't. So they are saying it's because that's why it's unreal. Illusion, Maya. What you think is real is not really real, is the philosophical concept. It's Maya. It is there, it is not there. Maru Marichikavat Rajju Sarpavat. It means in the night time, a rope will appear as snake. We think it's snake. In desert, all these, the mirages are there. That we think it's water, but it's not water. As are there. Mithya, that's all the illusion. So here, what we find, everything is real stuff. Where quantum physics is not real, because when you go deep inside, nearly all of it is just emptiness filled with energy, something that's invisible out there. You go inside, that's what they're finding. Now, if 99.99% is empty, even that is thought only that electrons and neutrons must be some mass is there, and they must be weight, and so they must be particle. Everything else is emptiness energy. But then what they're finding is that all subatomic particles, even those, that energy, electrons, neutrons, protons, even they are by default energy. By default, even those little electrons that are going around the neutron, a nucleus in the center, and then even the nucleus is all by default energy. That's what they're finding it to be, finding them to be. They're not finding them to be by default as particles. They're finding them to be as energy. And so that energy, with a lot of probabilities of it becoming matter, but it's by default, it's energy. It's got many possibilities. I was talking about in the beginning, an experiment of electron being released. And so then that electron is being released. 1 second, there is. That experiment of electron being released into the room. So then now the electron can exist anywhere, because the energy wave, and a wave goes everywhere by default. And so by default, even the electrons, neutrons are energy. They're oscillating, vibrating. Everything else is anyway emptiness and energy fields. Now, so in energy field, because everything is energy, electrons, neutrons are also energy. That means 100% everything is energy. And energy behaves like a wave. And so then in energy field, the dear friends, the thing to understand is that when it's all energy, it's all one. You see, below you have an atom, but then you also have a wave where the energy is wave. An atom, which we thought as a particle, is, it's got a shape there. Maybe it's round or whatever. It's generally depicted as round. But as a particle, it can touch and feel with thought, but its default, it's energy, because the electrons and neutrons are energy. 99.99% everything else is energy. So the whole of atom is energy. And so then energy is like a wave. And then does it stay still? It just traverses everywhere. So when its energy is going and traversing everywhere in all directions, in what direction it goes, if you leave vapor in the room, and which direction does it go? It goes in all directions. There's no resistance, it's going. And so by default, an atom as energy is spreading that energy is spreading everywhere, all around. How many atoms are there in human? Trillions of atoms. And so then all of them are going as energy everywhere. Now I'm energy, because simply energy is spreading. And then now you are energy. And then everybody and everything out there is energy. So then simply everyone is in field of energy. And that energy as a wave is spreading, spreading, spreading. Like 3 TV stations, they're producing energy, 3 radio stations producing energy, they're all spreading. Their light bulbs are energy, they're spreading everywhere in the room. Now, when they spread, and then what happens to them? When 2 waves spread, what happens? The wave intersect and then form into a new wave, isn't it? When this energy is spread between light bulbs in your room, they all intersect each other, they become one single source of light. So as energy, you are energy and I'm energy and everything is energy. We all become one in that field of energy. There is no separation. Can you separate the light streams of 2 torches? You put them together, 2 torchlights, and then put them together. It becomes light there. More light comes. But can you separate and say which comes from which torchlight when they merge? You can't separate them. They are one. 2 sources of milk from 2 dairies is given, and then milk cans are there. Mix them together. Can you separate them? They become one. They form into a new color, whatever, depending on what is it, but then they become one, and you can't separate that point. So as energy, we're all one. And at default, we are energy. In the quantum physics, go inside. And so by default, as energy, we are energy, and we're all one single large field in this whole existence. What is it? What is not energy? Everything is energy. That's quantum physics discovery. Everything that out there is simply energy. And so that means everything out there is connected as one single field. It's called quantum field. It's called Brahman. It's called consciousness. That exists everywhere. In that, you are deeply there as energy, as connected. I am there. Everybody is there. The trees are there. Animals are there. Every planet is there. Every galaxy is there. Everything is there simply as energy connected. Interconnected, because waves just become one. I just spoke about the light waves. Ponds. In a pond, you put 2 pebbles down and then the water waves come up, and the waves, when they merge, they all become one. You cannot even think of separating them. So this is called entangled in this quantum field of energy. We're all connected as one. And these atoms are the electrons and neutrons, subatomic particles, are oscillating as by default, oscillating as energy waves. But then what they've found is that sometimes they become matter, they collapse into physicality, they appear as matter. So they're oscillating as waves everywhere. In many, many positions, they can be there as waves everywhere they're going. And so then you have trillions and trillions and trillions of electrons and neutrons. They all are there as waves. And then you can take any combination of them. And if one becomes matter, any combination of them also can become matter. That means you have infinite combinations called infinite potential. Only when it becomes matter, you can see it. When you see it, you can touch it, you feel it, you have an experience of it. And so then the idea, the notion is that all these electrons and neutrons by default are energy oscillating. It's infinite combinations called infinite potentials. And so then they're called limitless potential field of energy that becomes matter in limitless ways, infinite ways. They're called experience of life. When energy becomes matter, that's something that we can feel it through five sensory perceptions, gives rise to experience to us. With an experience, we go through some emotion of good or bad and whatever that is, and which we label it based on our understanding. But otherwise, it's simply an experience that is happening where energy becomes matter. Tricky to understand, but by default, we have to see ourselves as simply energy field. That's why spiritual scientists always said, Patrizi always said, see the other person as soul and energy. Then energy is soul, and how you classify this now. There's something out there which is intelligent. Everything is energy as one, is not separate, is interconnected deeply to each other as one field. It's called oneness. In every meditation, when we remove the matter, the material element, the form is there as long as you put your attention on it, because now there is an understanding here. And I use the word when you put in attention. When observed, a subatomic particle becomes matter. By default, it's energy, the subatomic particle, but when observed, it becomes matter. That's quantum physics experimentation. So first of all, we are less matter, more energy, because by default, we're all energy. And we have unlimited potential because we are one with that field, so not separate. That means we are the whole. We are this tiny matter when it is observed, but otherwise we are the whole field, existence, Brahman, the deep meaning of Aham Brahmasmi, that I am that. Because we are that by default as energy, which is intricately connected with everything as one. And so we are that. You are that, Tattvamasi. By default, energy, infinite potentials of these electrons, neutrons, oscillating, waiting to happen into the physicality. But how does it happen to physicality? Through observation. And observed, a subatomic particle becomes matter. And how does this happen? Is this quantum physics experiment called double slit experimentation that many continue to do this and then come to the same conclusion that when you are observing these energy particles, they're becoming matter. So let's listen to this short video.
And here we are, the granddaddy of all quantum weirdness, the infamous double slit experiment. To understand this experiment, we first need to see how particles, or little balls of matter, act. If we randomly shoot a small object, say a marble, at the screen, we see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit. Now, if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right. Now, let's look at waves. The waves hit the slit and radiate out, striking the back wall with the most intensity directly in line with the slit. The line of brightness on the back screen shows that intensity. This is similar to the line the marbles make. But when we add the second slit, something different happens. If the top of one wave meets the bottom of another wave, they cancel each other out. So now there is an interference pattern on the back wall. Places where the two tops meet are the highest intensity, the bright lines, and where they cancel, there is nothing. So, when we throw things, that is, matter, through two slits, we get this, two bands of hits. And with waves, we get an interference pattern of many bands. Good so far. Now, let's go quantum. An electron is a tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through two slits, we should get, like the marbles, two bands. What? An interference pattern. We fired electrons, tiny bits of matter through. But we get a pattern like waves, not like little marbles. How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a wave? It doesn't make sense. But physicists are clever. They thought, maybe those little balls are bouncing off each other and creating that pattern. So, they decide to shoot electrons through one at a time. There is no way they could interfere with each other. But after an hour of this, the same interference pattern is seen to emerge. The conclusion is inescapable. The single electron leaves as a particle, becomes a wave of potentials, goes through both slits, and interferes with itself to hit the wall like a particle. But mathematically, it's even stranger. It goes through both slits, and it goes through neither. And it goes through just one, and it goes through just the other. All of these possibilities are in superposition with each other. But physicists were completely baffled by this. So they decided to peek and see which slit it actually goes through. They put a measuring device by one slit to see which one it went through and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. When they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble. It produced a pattern of two bands, not an interference pattern of many. The very act of measuring or observing which slit it went through meant it only went through one, not both. The electron decided to act differently, as though it was aware it was being watched. And it was here that physicists stepped forever into the strange, never world of quantum events. What is matter? Marbles or waves? And waves of what? And what does an observer have to do with any of this? The observer collapsed the wave function simply by observing.
Okay, friends. This video credit to Fred Alan Wolf, Dr. Fred Alan Wolf. Now, it is in YouTube. It can be listened over and over to understand a little bit more of what it is saying. To brush up the concept of wave function a little bit. And then you listen to it again. But what it is saying is that by default, electrons behaved as waves. And so they showed up as multiple bands on the screen when they're fired through two slits. But when you fire, if you have two straight lines, if you're throwing balls like electrons, then you would expect them in two straight lines. But they're fired, when there's two slits, they found many bands like a wave. When you send waves, it's out shows up, called wave interference. But when they put an observer, somebody who's consciously observing, expecting it to be like a particle, then it showed up as bands again. That means like particles. So the default, it showed up as a wave, the electrons. But when an observer is put, a conscious observer, expecting it to show up as particle, then showed up as particle. And remove the observer, it goes back as wave again. So this observer, and observing or putting attention on it, then it shows up into the particle, otherwise it's staying as energy. So this is called observation manifests possibilities. That means the electrons and neutrons, which are by default as energy, oscillating and waiting to be collapsed into physicality through an observation. Otherwise, this whole field just simply is energy. There's like a ball of yarn there. Huge amount of yarn is produced in these factories. Now the yarn is just sitting there.
but it can be taken into, observed into, or by taken into, made into various things, but depending on somebody's intention of what I want to make it to be. The ball of yarn, I can turn it into, various shapes, depending on what I want to make them to be. Until then, it's simply there. By default, the field is energy. Everything is a possibility. That yarn is there. You can make into anything. You can make into any combinations of stuff. Only when somebody wants to make into something, then it becomes that something. Otherwise, simply energy by default. Observation brings something into matter. If an electron becomes matter, now you take a group of electrons, they can become a group of electrons into matter. Trillions of electrons string together into matter, into different patterns, different shapes. And they are called our experiences. So observation creates the possibilities into experiences or matter. So now stitching that into what is a physical event or an experience that is happening for you, behind every event, there is an experience for us. Ultimately, we strive for experiences. And any newer experience always gives us happiness. And happiness is by learning something new and experiencing. That's really two things. That's where you consider happiness. Now, if it is the same thing repeated, it goes to boredom. Something new, then you have generally find happiness. Feeling good about having learned, feeling good about having experienced something. Learning, doing, being. Humans ultimately are there learning something and then they practice and do something on it, and then they have an experience, and so then it's called a state of being in there. Joyful. I do meditation many a times. Then I have first time I meditate and learn about it. I practice it. I get some kind of a feeling of a joy. Then I go meditate more. Every time I experience that joy, and then eventually, I become the joy, because over a period of time, there is so much installed in you that you become that. That's why long-term meditators become joyful. They're joyous all the time. I trying to climb a mountain. I know how to climb a mountain, and I do it once, twice, thrice. I have experienced good. But if I keep falling, I come to the conclusion every time experience is falling, then falling. Then I come to a conclusion that this is falling and then it hurts. And so I come, and the mountain is equal to a very tough situation and hurt. That's called a being state, as it becomes a belief. That if I have to climb these rocks and mountains, it's going to be very, very tough. We have experience of toughness, I don't know, whatever. Then you come to that conclusion. You're becoming of it. That means the moment you see, immediately correlate and say this is tough. So experiences ultimately are there. Now, depending on what experience we have, we term it good or bad. But eventually, everything is an experience, is where we come to neutrality. But from a point of view perspective, every physical event, now if you connect these dots here, every event that an experience is an appearance of patterns of subatomic particles. And they're all there as energy by default. That influence your observation. So this is like what? It's like my experience of me wanting to travel by British Airways from Bangalore to, let's say, London. It's an experience I'm seeking. Experience requires there are people, places, things in it. There are these British Airways coming into picture, much means it's fleet of aircraft. The people, airports come into picture. Now I'm seeking an experience of visualizing and then going through that. By default, it doesn't exist, but then when I start visualizing, or when I'm putting my attention on it, and then eventually the whole experience, the string of electrons, neutrons surrounding that experience come into physicality, so I do have that experience of it. Our observation is thought and feeling of an experience, and what I wish to have is what I'm imagining, as sending that signal of energy of exactly what I want to construct. And so that pattern I'm constructing, but ultimately the energy behind that comes into physicality with observation manifesting possibility. So if we can put our attention on what we are looking to have as an experience, an observation, then we can manifest matter, like in life experiences. Our mind is wandering constantly all the time, here, there, everywhere. And meditation brings it more focused, number one. Our mind is very limited. It thinks this is not possible, that's not possible. Meditation makes it very open. So it becomes very open. That means you are allowing this possibility to show up, however remote they are. It becomes focused so that you don't distract here, there. Instead, you're pretty much focused on what you're looking for. Rather than thinking, one day I want to have an admission here, another day I want to have a job, another day I want to not do anything, just do a business. So there is all kinds of stuff happening, non-focused. Meditation makes us more focused, objective, with a little objective, and then also makes it open and say, at times when it seems like very difficult and may not happen at all because we are very fixated to the matter, and then how the matter can only change slowly and little by little. But the meditation makes you open and say, a miracle is possible in any situation. I don't have money, but I don't know, tomorrow suddenly some bonus can come. I don't know, some strange person can come and then give me money and go. Yesterday, one of our masters from Hyderabad, Pyramid Complex, was telling me, of course, they have a need and they're always looking for donations. So that somebody comes, somebody apparently, just had a dream in where Patrizi came into his dream. And so I felt he came to the project and then he said, okay, how is this happening? Annadana, okay, I'll give you 5 lakhs rupees donation, he gave. And I said, what else do you need? Okay, so we have such a big campus, we're trying to develop it, we need a tractor and then a few things. Okay, so then he spent 13 lakhs, he bought a tractor, gave it to them, it disappeared. He never came back ever again to that project. Now, what do you call that? What do you call that? It happens, they come, they donate or give, and then go away miraculously. So this is what happens when you're open-minded. And when your meditation makes you open and say, okay, anything is possible. And so then things come. And otherwise you're thinking, how will it happen? You're constantly doubting. The whole doubt will manifest more and more doubt. If observation manifests possibility, and if you're doubtful about things, then you'll only produce doubtful experience. That means it may happen, may not happen. You'll always be in that situation. That sales deal is coming, it's not coming because you're doubting. The deal that you thought is yours is not happening because it's just doubting. It is there, but it's not there. In your reach, but it's not in your reach. Doubt. So become open, become focused, and then manifest matter and difference. So before I conclude, now what I want to say is that in this thing, in the quantum physics and spiritual science, I draw parallelism before I conclude it. Spiritual science said, we are not the body, we are consciousness, we are soul, we are divine, you are God, Aham Brahmasmi. Now you see, we have matter, tiny, tiny, tiny. It's all energy in quantum physics. All energy are connected, you are one, you are the whole. So it is that equation there. It makes sense. From science perspective, we say we are this energy field intricately connected, and then we are the existence of all of it, and spiritual science is saying, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that. I am Atma, I am Paramatma. What Adi Shankaracharya just said, Advaita, where everything, there is no Dvaita, no two. You as soul, and then the God as consciousness, they are the same. It's all one. Atma, Paramatma become one, and there's an entire field. And quantum physics is saying we are that because we are the simply energy and intricately connected. The second thing is that if you are divine, if you are the whole, then you have this divine power, infinite power, right? That everything is existence, is you, that infinite power in us, unlimited power. If you are God, if you are Aham, you have Brahman, then you have everything. You have the whole power of love, you have energy, you have wisdom. Prajnanam Brahma, that's why everything is the Prajnanam, Jnana, the whole Brahman is just wisdom and knowledge. It is that. And you are that, you are the infinite love, your infinite creation, your energy. Now, the quantum physics statement is that we are unlimited possibilities and potential. Infinity, unlimited is the same. Our potential of doing and experiencing anything is there simply as energy. And then what is the third thing, or the unlocking part? Our observation manifests possibilities, is quantum physics saying, and spiritual science said, yeah, bhavam tad bhavati, Sanskrit statement, as your bhava, as your intention is your bhavati, your experience is, your thoughts are producing that matter. the real divine potential is bringing into a matter experience through your thought. Thoughts create things. Ya mati sa gathir bhavad. So with this understanding, dear friends, when I came to this understanding, it became very, very clear that we can experience it, and then in meditation, this breath meditation, where we are emptying ourselves, we are letting go of the matter aspect of it, and so then we start experiencing this whole field of energy, the connectedness, and this whole. When I use the word one, because we're connected as one, not separate. I use the word whole because everything is we and that, and so we are whole, complete. And the statements are made, we are always complete. So what you're looking for, this experience we have in meditation, that experience of wholeness. If I am the whole, then what am I trying to chase? The lack must slowly disappear. The understanding must come. The lack must disappear because everything is with me. How do I extract it? Through my thought. Through my thought, I find it and see it through my thought. And that's why the whole manifestation of science is centered around our thoughts and feelings. Right. Thank you very much. Very important, and understanding this important concept, which is a basis for most of the experience when people say my life changed, because the thought process changes. Thought process changes, and then meditation makes them very coherent to have this continuous focus thought on towards what they want, and so then attract things. And so then they say my life changed in a way they didn't expect. Yes, Richaji, any announcements, please?
Yes, sir. We have announcement regarding the book club. The Inspired Book Club. Today, the book that will be discussed is Autobiography of Yogi by Paramahamsa Yogananda. There will be 2 batches. The first batch starting at 8:15 a.m. to 9:15 a.m. IST, and the batch 2 at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST. So please join as per your convenience.
Okay. Thank you. Book clubs are a lot of this information that we talked about will, of course, be touched upon in the Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Is scientifically, an autobiography yogi is mystically is going to bring up the same concepts in many ways, that experiencing the power. The perfect combination of books that we can read this time to understand these concepts. So hope you make use of it. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day.
I was searching, I was looking for meaning. I was wondering, desperately trying only to see I have nothing missing. Who said I have to find who I am? Who said that I am lost to begin with? I am already enough. Everything I need is within me. Each one is
Okay. Do you have something to say, Chandraji?
Good morning, Chandra sir. It is highly charged with quantum physics and the spirituality, the way you connected it. Absolutely, that goes more and more into the brain. I am ready to hear it. Even how many times, however times you say it, because each time I get something else. That experiment was not going into my brain before. So many times but in my layman's simple views today, after hearing you, I just understood everything is the part of it is all energy, and because it's all emptiness with full of energy only, it's less matter. Even whatever the matter is, they are all changing, taking different shapes according to the way the observation fall on them, how we think. And that observation comes from our own thought and our own thought and our feelings. Whatever we would like, we can manifest the way. If I want to see that as a line, I can see it as a line. If I want to see that as waves, I can do it. That is the way things are happening. Is that is that right? Am I understanding you correctly?
That's what you're
Just
understanding.
the plain words, just not the scientific form, but you beautifully connected the quantum physics to the spiritual science. Awesome. I missed the third one. Our observation manifest. For that, you are giving some spiritual science. What is that equivalent? You said something they are beautifully linking.
I said, Yadbhavam Tadbhavati.
Yadbhavam Tadbhavati. Okay. And
Yamati Tagatir Bhaved.
Okay. That's really, it gives so much logical understanding now, because manifestation is not a myth anymore. It's not from the book. It's not the concept. For me now, it is possible for every X and Y. Whoever focus, whoever has the open heart, we will get anything, because that's coming from our own mind, our own consciousness. Thank you, Chandra sir. I just want to see you here as mirror and explaining myself. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, you have to explain to many people. So then rehearsing is good. Thank you. Yes.
Namaste, sir. Like, I have one question. Sometimes we are able to sit and go into the no thought or be calm, but sometimes it is very difficult to even focus on the breath. Why that happens? What is the reason for that? Sometimes it's really a big challenge, even though after your morning sleep, you just wake up and you start with meditation. You are not able to focus much, as another day it is very easy. It just flows into the system very well without putting some efforts. Why is that, sir?
Madam, when you are driving every day to going to office or anywhere, is the experience always same?
No.
When you're cooking, is your family members are always telling you, oh, very tasty every day? Great.
No.
Why does that happen?
Because of the proportion and the quantity of things that we put, it might be different from one day to another, and the situations differ.
Situations differ, your mood, your many things are there that day, isn't it?
Yes.
Aspects come into picture, isn't it? The weather plays a role in it, how you feel. Your body plays a role. Same way, then when you're traveling from place to place, every day is not the same. Because so many things are there influencing around us, right? Meditation is same too. It's our expectation that if a day after day after day, it only has to get better. It's not true. Our driving experience is, even though somebody drives for 20 years, some days they're very, very jerk. They're not properly there. They're not driving well. The situations are not that great. And so there's no linearity here. It is all random. There's all unpredictability is there. In the unpredictability comes all the joy of newness. If everything is very predictable, it's boring.
Okay, so what do we need to do when we are in such a situation where we
Don't need
can't?
to do anything, madam. Just recognize and say this is normal.
Okay.
The only thing we have to do is to practice. That day when the sabji become too salty, you say, oh, okay, so some screw up happened. Tomorrow will be fine. We continue.
So we just continue. We don't stop cooking because 2 times we didn't do right. Right? And so the same way, meditation, we continue the practice, knowing that ultimately when you cook, still it'll be consumable. Somebody's eating. So our meditation also like that. Every meditation is always good. Some days there's a lot of thought, so we might have received less energy. Some days, no thought, we have more energy, more wisdom, more things. But every meditation, we were going into thoughtless states for moments together. And so in that moment, energy is flooding into the body, information is coming into our brain. And so then we are, every meditation is helping us. And so all you have to do is to just continue the practice, nothing you do.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And one more question, like, should we have any background music or just watch on the breath? Which is better?
Music meditation deepens the experience. It's an order of magnitude more powerful. Like it's group, meditating like in a group is like that, music is like that, pyramid is like that, nature is like that, full moon is like that. It's an order of magnitude powerful, utilize it. So by default, we play music, we use music.
Okay.
Now, some people, and then if music is there, we use it. If music is not there, we meditate in silence too. That's how we have to get to. We train ourselves to become that. Right? Google Maps are there to go from place to place. You'll use Google Maps?
Sometimes when we are not sure of the
We use
place.
Google Maps. Technology is there, we use it. If it's not there, of course, we have to do the hard way, right? Anyway, then you have to call people or figure out and then go. But it's there, we use it. So like that. So music by default enhancing. So why not when it is there? When you go into remote places somewhere, no battery, no phone, then you simply sit in my silence and meditate and still be able to go to the same states. But when it is there, use it like that. We don't addict it to it, we get addicted to it, but we use it. It's there.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, sir. Yesterday I was reading this book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And I was thinking that if somebody can explain me those quantum physics, and today I just manifested, you explained very beautifully how that actually happens. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. That book is there. Please join the book clubs.
Yeah, like I'm not sure how to join now. I've posted the link, so I will get in touch with one of them and join.
They'll post the links in the WhatsApp groups if you're part of it.
Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Thank you all. Have a good one.
I'm grateful for the beauty around me. Life is a gift, I wanna enjoy it. Always proving my worth only destroys it. I am already loved. Everything I need is within me. My motivation can't be validation. I'd always be starving for more affection, the wrong attention, only to feel like I am nothing. Who said I have to find who I am? Who said that I am lost to begin with?
Everyone again, we'll meet tomorrow at the same time.
What time is the book club?
Starting in 15 minutes.
15. Okay, thank you.